right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Classroom assistants arrested. Tonight, disturbing details on alleged assaults against students with special needs.
Our weather impact alert continues for Wednesday. All of us deal with wind tomorrow. Some of us deal with strong storms, and a few can expect severe storms. We're tracking the updated threats and timing.
Preparing for disaster ahead of the storm.
The more people we can have there, the quicker we can get them there, the more effective we can be.
The timely training program proving their strength in numbers. We're just hours away from our next Weather Impact Alert Day, and tonight we're preparing you for the threat of strong winds, hail, and tornadoes. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Some storms are moving in overnight, but the main event will be tomorrow afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell tracking the latest timing and impacts for your neighborhood.
Well, Kelly and Mike, we know that during the day today, the Storm Prediction Center slid the greater risk for severe weather off to the east and southeast of St. Louis, adding a Category 4, which is moderate, level 4, down across far southeast Missouri, south of Mount Vernon, south of Perryville, and pushing that Category level 3 here right into the metro area and onto the east, lowering the threat a little bit back to the west of us. Overall, there is a lower tornado threat based on what we're seeing right now, mainly hail and wind threats for this, and not everybody's going to see severe weather. Noon until 8 tomorrow, our prime time to see some action. In terms of thunderstorms, charge those phones, stay weather aware. Tonight, we've watched as some storms develop north of St. Louis. They've shifted farther north, and we have a couple of areas out to our west here in Kansas, over eastern portions of Kansas, about ready to move into Missouri, all moving northeastbound. So most of that overnight is staying to the north and west of us. But as we're trying to bring this warm, more moist air in over us, we are starting to see by daybreak tomorrow at least some scattered showers trying to filter in. The main area still back to our west and northwest. The timing on this as we go through the morning hours into tomorrow afternoon, mainly after lunchtime, most likely in the metro area about 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Our threats, well, the high winds are there. It is going to be windy outside of storms all day tomorrow. Some large hail certainly possible. The tornado threats there, especially in southern Illinois, and the power outages, simply because there's wind. There's really 3 things to know here. It is windy Wednesday outside of any thunderstorms, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Some of us get some strong storms, and then we go into a heavy rain threat as we head from Thursday into Sunday. We'll talk more about that and the flood potential in a few minutes, Mike.
And right after this newscast, Scott will provide an extended forecast tomorrow on our 5+ streaming app, and the Weather Impact team will be providing live updates there all day tomorrow. So it's tonight and tomorrow. You can watch for free by downloading the app to your Roku, Apple, or Fire TV.
And you can always get the latest weather impact forecast right on your phone. You can also join our text list to get constant updates. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. The threat of heavy wind tomorrow is sparking fears of potential brush fires. Severe weather can also result in search and rescue efforts.
First responders prepare for these situations in advance, and 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is in O'Fallon, Illinois, speaking with 3 fire chiefs who are working together to keep you safe.
This is as close to real world experience as you can get without going into a house.
Firefighters from multiple agencies training for what they face on the clock.
Inside there are various rooms like you would find in a home. We have a kitchen, dining room, upstairs bedrooms.
They have to get in.
They'll drag the hose in. They'll have to try and locate where the fire is at.
And find victims.
We have mannequins that are both adult and children's size.
It's a reminder of what they already know. In an emergency, seconds matter, especially when firefighters make their way inside of a burning structure and can't see a thing.
That's where this thermal imaging camera comes in.
If we come around and we look inside, we can start to see shapes. We can start to see what's going on.
With severe weather expected Wednesday.
We're going to have the high winds, large possible hail, the tornadoes.
Multi-agency collaboration makes the difference.
The end of this storm is going to be a lot of rain. There's going to be a lot of water. And not all departments have water rescue resources. So that's where mutual aid absolutely becomes important, that we're able to call on not only a neighboring department that has the equipment, but teams in the area that have the equipment.
It helped with last month's storms when O'Fallon dispatchers received 55 calls in 6 hours.
The more people we can have there, the quicker we can get them there, the more effective we can be to mitigate the situation and hopefully save property and really hopefully save lives.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
With tomorrow's wind conditions, experts urge you to refrain from burning outdoors. That includes burning trash, leaves, or even discarding cigarettes. It could contribute to the spread of brush fires. Ameren crews on both sides of the river are ready to respond so they can fix down power lines and restore power. The utility says it uses smart technology to prevent outages. And last week, the utility opened a new operating center in St. Francis County to help speed up storm response in areas south of the metro.
We are following a developing story out of the Tower Grove South neighborhood. Accident reconstruction investigators have been called to investigate a crash involving a pedestrian. The crash happened about 3 hours ago at the intersection of Gravois and Baumberger. One person was taken to the hospital in critical condition. St. Louis police have not released any other details. Tonight, 2 special school district paraprofessionals are behind bars accused of assaulting 3 students who are nonverbal and have autism. Investigators say the alleged crimes at Pattonville School were all caught on camera. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski has been looking at the court documents tonight. Laura.
Kelly, the Maryland Heights Police Department says surveillance video from the gym shows the 2 teachers' assistants shoving children to the ground and even shoving one of them into a closet.
Maryland Heights police say 30-year-old Angelette Bully-Jack Calhoun and 22-year-old Sharnita Thomas are special needs classroom assistants at Academy of Innovation at Remington through the special school district. Investigators say surveillance video shows Thomas going into the school gymnasium around 11:40 last Friday morning, holding a 7-year-old boy by the arm, shoving him to the ground, then shoving him in a closet repeatedly. After a period of time, she's seen grabbing a 5-year-old girl and dragging her by the arm toward the same closet. Police say Bully-Jack Calhoun is also in the room when this happened and just 2 minutes later pulled a different 7-year-old boy off a scooter and shoved him into the ground. Detectives say all 3 of these kids have autism and are nonverbal. Representatives from the special school district and Pattonville released statements today saying they're cooperating with the investigation and filed a report with the Division of Children's Services. SSD says both women have been placed on administrative leave. Quote, "We hold our employees to high standards, requiring them to undergo thorough background checks and participate in ongoing training to ensure they foster a safe and supportive learning environment for all students." Pattonville Superintendent Dr. Barry Nelson said in a letter to parents, quote, "We are deeply troubled by allegations of employee behavior that do not align with our expectations to ensure student well-being. Our schools are places where students should always feel safe, and we take any allegation of staff misconduct very seriously." It goes on to say it's important for our families and community to know that we are committed to the safety and welfare of all students and will remain so going forward.
Both women are facing 4th-degree assault charges and are being held on a $25,000 bond.
The polls in the Metro East closed about 3 hours ago for today's Illinois Consolidated Municipal Elections. And tonight, those results are pouring into our newsroom.
And they're running at the bottom of your screen, and they are available on KSDK.com. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, live tonight in Belleville, where there was a hotly contested race for mayor. Mark?
Good evening. You can hear part of that carryover, the spillover effect from that hotly contested race in Belleville, where there is a new mayor-elect tonight. The Tavern on Main, a packed crowd. You can see some of the supporters who have come out here to cheer on the election of Jenny Gain Meyer, that is. She's the city clerk and the challenger who jumped into this race to challenge first-term incumbent Patty Gregory. The race heated up down the stretch when a mail campaign funded by Gregory and her supporters tried to smear the popular clerk as a part-timer who skips work. Well, that smear campaign backfired badly. Several of Meyer's co-workers, employees, and supporters quickly jumped to her defense and told stories of her coming into work early, staying late, working weekends, and covering for their shifts when they were out sick. We caught up with the mayor-elect moments after she declared victory. How are we feeling?
Fantastic. Yeah.
What happened here today?
So all my volunteers, my supporters, and Shelly Schaefer and us, we just hit the streets, and we made it happen. We're here to do something good for Belleville.
What's that going to look like? What are the next 4 years going to look like in Belleville?
It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of teamwork. It's going to require the city council, the department heads, and the rest of the elected officials and the residents to work together and make Belleville what it needs to be and what it should be.
You can still hear those chants of Jenny in the crowd behind me here. Gain Meyer becomes the second woman elected mayor in Belleville's 200-plus year history. This was also something of a turf war or a proxy war between House Democrat Jay Hoffman, who backed Gain Meyer, and Mark Kern, the county board chair who backed the incumbent mayor who loses tonight. The new mayor swears the oath of office before the first council meeting, which is scheduled at the beginning of next month. We're now live in our rowdy tavern on Main in downtown Belleville. Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Full house there tonight. And again, all of tonight's election results are running at the bottom of your screen. You can also find them on KSDK.com. Just text the word results to 314-425-5355. We'll be happy to send you a link. 1 week from today, voters in Missouri will head to the polls for the municipal elections. The St. Louis County Council wants voters to pass Proposition B. It would give them the power to remove county department heads appointed by County Executive Sam Page. He calls it Prop Bad. It was debated during a storm recovery event today.
Prop B is bad for St. Louis County. It's disruptive. It gives too many people directing our directors.
There's no power grab. It's just making sure that if there is an issue, we get to bring it to surface and it is addressed.
The County Council is holding a town hall meeting to answer questions about Prop B. It's Thursday night at 6 at Hazelwood Central High School.
Well, a busy sports night in St. Louis. It's just wrapping up. Both the Cardinals and Blues are playing in front of a home crowd tonight. It was a thriller over at Enterprise where the Red Hot Blues won their 10th straight game against the Red Wings after trailing 1-0 late. Jordan Kyrou tied the game with just seconds to go in regulation. Cam Fowler scored the winning goal in overtime. Sports director Frank Cusimano will have highlights and reaction later in sports.
While the severe weather threats around tomorrow, we have a more widespread flooding threat later this week, right into the weekend, where and when historic and potentially catastrophic flooding is possible.
Severe storms can have an impact on your car.
Costs can really add up from hail damage.
Tonight, affordable ways to steer clear of costly repairs. Tragedy at a busy intersection on a St. Charles County road.
My heart breaks for them.
Tonight, a family grieves a preschooler killed in a motorcycle crash.
Just hours ago, moms and students demand action rallied outside the Missouri State Capitol against the reestablishment of the Second Amendment Preservation Act. The House passed the bill last week, which penalizes police for enforcing federal gun laws. A similar bill passed in 2021. A federal appeals court deemed it unconstitutional. The groups also rallied against a proposed bill which would allow guns in places of worship and on public transportation.
Tonight, Town and Country Police are thanking the public for tips that led to the arrest of a man wanted for vandalizing a Tesla. Police shared a photo on social media of the man wanted for keying a Tesla outside the Schnucks at Clayton and Woods Mill Saturday afternoon. He has yet to be charged, so we are not sharing his photo. Tesla cars and dealerships have been the target of vandals amid backlash around Elon Musk's involvement with the Trump administration.
A 4-year-old St. Peter's boy is dead after a motorcycle crash. His mother's boyfriend remains in critical condition.
New at 10, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend tells us what he has learned about the young victim and the investigation.
His grandmother says 4-year-old Calvin Spurlock was funny, outgoing, and as you can see in this picture, he loved Spider-Man. Janet Bond says her first grandchild was the light of their lives, a light now tragically gone.
I have 2 young kids at home, and I just can't imagine being in their position, so sad.
St. Peter's police say around 5 Sunday evening they received multiple 911 calls about a motorcycle accident near Fort Zumwalt South High School by Mexico Road and Bellew Creek. Investigators say a child and a man were on a motorcycle when it left westbound Mexico Road, hit a utility pole, and tossed them off the bike. Janet Bond says the child was her grandson. Calvin died at a hospital. Police say the motorcyclist also suffered critical but non-life-threatening injuries. Calvin's grandmother identified him as his mother's boyfriend.
Unbelievable.
The sudden loss of this little one has saddened parents who live near the crash site.
I have a 4-year-old, so my heart goes out to them. Going in and out of this intersection every day, and it's really hectic.
Police say no other vehicles were involved in the collision. They also tell us the child and man both wore helmets at the time of the crash. Meanwhile, understandably, Calvin Spurlock's grief-stricken grandmother just couldn't talk on camera. Janet Bond told me by phone her grandson lived in St. Peter's with his mom and her boyfriend. Bond says we are heartbroken and devastated. Our world is shattered. Calvin Spurlock would have celebrated his 5th birthday in August.
My heart breaks for them, and my prayers and thoughts are going towards them.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The St. Peters Police Department's accident reconstruction team is investigating the crash. It could take several weeks before they determine whether speed or other factors contributed to the accident.
Car owners should be on alert tomorrow for the potential of hail damage. If you don't have covered parking, you can purchase a hail car cover. They usually run about $100 online and at the big box stores. You can also use blankets, towels, and even your floor mats. However, you need to make sure they're secured and they won't blow away because it will be windy tomorrow and during the storm. AAA says on average it costs about $6,500 to repair hail damage on cars, and it's not just cosmetic.
With more sophisticated vehicles and newer vehicles, there are a lot of sensors that are built in around the vehicle, whether it's on the side mirrors, on the front or rear bumpers, or even on the roof in some cases. If those sensors get damaged, that could, impact those safety features that are meant to keep you, and your family safe on the road.
And it is suggested you check your insurance policy to make sure you have comprehensive coverage.
You're just trying to get people weather ready. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with the weather impact forecast, and a lot could be going on tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day.
It is going to be a busy day, and I'm going to start with the 7-day tonight. A little bit out of order, a little bit uncharacteristic, but we have our weather impact alert day for tomorrow because we have the potential of thunderstorms, some of which could be severe. Not all of us are going to see hail. Not all of us are going to see high winds. Some of us might. Very few of us would see a tornado, but that chance does exist off to the east. But I start here with the 7-day because Friday and Saturday now we have added as weather impact alert days. The rain will get heavier by Friday and Saturday. It's going to come in waves. Tomorrow is just the first wave that we deal with, and by Friday and Saturday, our flooding potential will be increasing across the region, especially in southeast Missouri and southern portions of Illinois. We do have a couple of stray showers and rumbles of thunder tonight ongoing to our north. That's lifted through Jerseyville, now west of Carlton, and it is sliding up towards Farmersville. You can see a few flashes of lightning. The bigger, more intense thunderstorms, they are way out here into Kansas, and they are moving northeast. The main line back there in central portions of Kansas, but a few outliers here are down south of Kansas City. They're moving northeast too. All of this will head northeast of us during the overnight hours, or I should say northwest of us as it moves northeast during the overnight hours. So what are we expecting here for Wednesday? Strong winds outside of any thunderstorms will blow 40 to 50 miles per hour in those stronger gusts. That means we have the potential for some scattered power outages just because of the wind that isn't even associated with thunderstorms. Our chances of strong storms, they start to increase around noon. Probably 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the immediate metro area, likely continuing east and southeast of St. Louis until about 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We do expect some power outages, some tree damage is possible. Inside some of the strongest thunderstorms, gusts could range 50 to 70 miles per hour. We could see some large hail, and we can't rule out a tornado. The best chance of that, though, is in far southern portions of Illinois and down across far southeast Missouri. So keep those devices charged, stay weather aware, know your safe place, and be ready to act fast tomorrow should you need to. Most of us probably don't. But again, it's one of those situations where the ingredients appear to be in place. We're going to see how that interacts as we go through the morning hours. Part of what we're dealing with tomorrow morning will be residual scattered showers and potentially even thick cloud cover. That could limit our heating, and that could limit what builds across the region during the afternoon. Here we go into the early afternoon hours. You can see just a smattering of showers and thunderstorms trying to develop. They get into the metro area between 3 and 4 o'clock and then press east and southeast of St. Louis. Some of them likely will be severe if they can tap into all of those ingredients. Winds probably the greatest threat overall, but certainly a few power outages are expected. 3 things to know. You have the wind, you have the potential for strong storms, and now we're talking heavy rain threat as we head towards the end of the week. Your winds tomorrow, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts during the afternoon, early evening hours. That's going to cause some power outages. We may be talking more than a foot of rain here by the time we get to Sunday down over southeast Missouri and southern Illinois. In our counties, it's more like 5 to 7 inches. As you go down towards Perryville, metro area is probably 2 to 5 inches by the time everything's said and done. I know that's a lot to digest. Right after this newscast, we will go in depth on 5+ on what we're looking at. The bottom line is most of us will have to deal with some thunder tomorrow, but the majority of us don't get severe weather. Everybody's dealing with wind tomorrow, and all of us are going to get pretty decent rainfall here by the end of the week, with flooding rains possible southeast.
Again, you're going on 5+ right after this newscast.
Yes.
All right, Scott, thank you. Frank is next with sports.
Mike, I'm going to talk about a lot of sports tonight, but only one really matters right now. Our incredible hockey team. Will be right back. There is nothing like this team. The 9-game win streak is now 10. Each victory in this dramatic book has a different chapter. Blow out some teams, beat some great teams, and tonight it was the most pulsating of the 10 victories. They waited until the end to do it. Man, is this fun. This was the first ever NHL game for first-round pick Jimmy Snuggerud. This is called the Rookie Lap. Welcome to the NHL. And the kid had a chance midway in the first with a rocket, but Cam Talbot made a good save. Jordan Binnington, pretty sharp, back-to-back saves right there. But in the third, Detroit's JT Compher was all alone and gives the Red Wings a 1-0 lead. 29 seconds to go. Cam Fowler will push it ahead. Jordan Kyrou deflects it, and we have a tie game going to overtime. And in OT, how about a 2-on-1? Robert Thomas, Fowler, and what a play by Fowler. Make it 10 in a row. 2-1 note.
I thought our first period was really good because of the energy of our great fans. And then I thought in the third, they were getting us motivated to keep pushing and keep pushing. And I think that with those icings, they could sense the momentum coming and that we were going to be able to get some opportunities. And we did get some opportunities. And what a great play by Fowler and a great finish by Kyrou.
The Cardinals continued their series with the Angels tonight. And I know everybody is talking about the historically low attendance figures. You kind of expected it too. The offseason was brutal. All we heard was reset. Well, if you want to recharge the fan base, do what Adrian told Rocky. Win. The crowd tonight, 21,306. That's progress, 100 more than last night. He could be the most important player of the franchise, Jordan Walker. I mean, if this guy becomes a star, I'm telling you there's a chance. RBI base hit in the second, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. But Frank, he has to hit with power. How's this in the fourth? 419 feet to dead center field. He's hitting .429 on the season. Matthew Liberatore, pretty good. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. 10th inning, Cards down 6-3. Lucan Baker delivers with a 2 RBI double to shave the lead to 1 run. And Nolan Arenado will tie it with the base hit. We have a 6-6 game going to the 11th. In the 11th, the Angels scored 3 times, and they win the game 9-7. I want to take you inside the Cardinal clubhouse for some more insight on my favorite player, Victor Scott II. I asked him to show me his notebook, the notebook that he refers to get better. It's working. He's off to a great start, hitting .350. Yes, he would watch video of people like Tony Gwynn and take down copious notes, notes he can refer to all season long. He watched a lot of Tony on YouTube.
With Tony Gwynn, he always says lead with the knob of the bat, and that's kind of what he always preached to ensure that you're in the zone for the longest amount of time. So with a couple of his drills, I implemented into my off-season programming and was really focused on those set things that made him the great hitter that he was. So if I could take a page out of his book, then I'll try my best to.
SLU coach Josh Schertz is collecting players like Scott Connell collects dew point statistics. You can never have enough of those. Don't look now, but he has added 30 points per game in the last 48 hours. Quentin Jones committed today to SLU. All he did was average 17 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 4 assists per game last season for Northern Illinois. He's a 6'5 swingman who will have 2 years of eligibility left. And from what I understand, from what I'm hearing, more weapons are on the way for the Billikens this week, and that will do it in sports.
How about those Blues?
Yep, unbelievable.
No. All right, thanks, Frank.
Well, in honor of April Fool's Day, 5 on Your Side is sharing some of our most memorable on-air mishaps. You can watch our bloopers special right now on the 5+ streaming app. Watch for free on your Apple, Roku, or Fire TV, and we'll be right back.
Showing you a lot of cuteness right now. Tonight we're getting our first look at the newest addition at the St. Louis Zoo. Jet, an Asian elephant calf, was born back in November. Well, today the zoo took our cameras behind the scenes at the outdoor elephant habitat Jed is expected to make his public debut in the River's Edge habitat in the coming weeks.
All right, let's check back with Scott with the latest on tomorrow's weather impact alert day.
So early in the morning, I think we'll have a few showers around, nothing severe. But as we go through midday into the afternoon, that's when we'll have our eyes on the radar, tracking thunderstorms that develop and evolve. Some of them could be strong to severe. It will be windy outside of thunderstorms, even more so in some of those storms. After that, we're transitioning to a flooding threat as we head towards Friday into Friday night, Saturday and Saturday night. That rain should come to an end by Sunday. We're on 5+ here in just a few minutes. And coming up after that, you get to see the bloopers. So we'll see you in Frank.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Have a
with Scott.
great, yes, have a great tomorrow.